Oops. Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I have my August book haul. These are all the books I accumulated in August, and this is a lot bigger than it was supposed to be. So I was not planning to buy this much, honestly. I had like a good pile of maybe like 7 or 8 books, and I was really excited and happy and proud of myself that I didn't go overboard. And then Book Outlet decided to have a really amazing end of summer sale, and all that went downhill. So I have a lot to talk about, so let's get right to it. Okay, so I have 3 different places that I got books from this month. One is being Book Outlet, the other one is Goodwill. My local Goodwill actually has a pretty good selection of books. And then I also had a pre-order that I did on Amazon, so I'll show you the pre-order first because I'm very excited about it. That is Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas, and this is the 3rd book in the Throne of Glass series, and I haven't read it yet, and I'm very excited. I was waiting for it to come out on paperback because the first 2 that I have are in paperback, and I want my set to match. So I'm going to be a little behind on my Throne of Glass reading, but I'm so excited, and this is a really big, chunky book, but I'm very excited to get into it, so I'm going to be getting into this one pretty darn soon. Okay, so now let's talk about what I got at Goodwill. The first book that I picked up at Goodwill is called Bone Shaker, and it's by Sherry Priest. And I've seen this book around. I haven't heard a ton of people talking about it yet, but I've seen it like in newsletters and advertisements and things like that. So I was always a little bit curious, and then I read the synopsis, and it's kind of going to be like a steampunk era book, and I've never read anything like that before. So yeah, I saw it at Goodwill. It was a pretty good price. I think this was like $1.99, and it's really like perfect condition, and it's a nice paperback that I love. So I went ahead and picked this one up. Another book I got at Goodwill is Big Little Lies, and this is by Lane Moriarty, and I actually don't 100% know what this is about. I know a lot of people have read it and enjoyed it. So I was like, I saw it. It was $2.99 for this really nice hardback cover. So yeah. Also picked up 2 books by an author I've never read before, and never really heard of him until I saw that he wrote Fight Club. And I saw Fight Club. I didn't read Fight Club, but I saw it, so I loved it. So when I saw that there were 2 books there by him, and they sounded pretty interesting when I read the synopsis of them, so I went ahead and grabbed them. And that author is Chuck Palahniuk. I hope I didn't butcher. I don't know how to say his last name. But this one is called Diary. And this is a book about a woman who keeps a diary called a coma diary while her husband is sitting in a coma. So I think a lot of it goes off. She starts kind of keeping a diary, and then it kind of goes off into imaginations and wishes and things like that. So I thought it sounded interesting. It's a nice short book. It's in really good condition, so I went ahead and grabbed this one. The other one that I picked up by him is called Lullaby, and this is actually, the premise of this sounds very interesting. It's about a song that is very old and kind of cultural, I guess, and they called it a culling song, and it actually ends up killing people, but people later on in the future don't realize that, so they learn this lullaby and they start singing it to their children, and then their children end up dying because of this song. So I thought that sounded really weird and interesting, so yeah, I went ahead and got this one too. And again, this one is nice and short, but it sounds very cool, so I'm going to be giving this one a read. And the last book that I picked up at Goodwill is called The God of War, and this is by Marissa Silver. I'm not 100% sure what this one is about, but it's gotten praise upon praise upon praise upon praise. And I saw it on Book Outlet, I think, and I was kind of looking at it, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't end up putting it in my cart. And then I found it at Goodwill, and I was like, okay, it's a sign. I should probably go ahead and pick this up. So, yep, I did. I picked it up. And this is actually, I guess, was taught in a university around here locally, because it has like a used thing on here, like in a bookstore. So, yeah, we'll see. So now on to the Book Outlet books. So I bought 3 books on Book Outlet using a couple of coupons that I had. They had like the $5 off coupons I had that I wanted to go ahead and use. So I put in 2 different orders for 3 books on that. And then a couple weeks later, they had their crazy sale, and that's where the box comes in. So let me do the 3 that I bought previously, and then we will get into this box. Okay, so the first one I picked up is Bonhoeffer. I believe that's how you say his name, Bonhoeffer. This is by Eric Metaxas. So this is this is an abridged copy, so it's much shorter than the original copy. The original copy was literally like this big, guys. It was so big, and I was very intimidated by it. I heard it was amazing, but with the length, I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do that. So I found this abridged copy on Book Outlet. It was pretty cheap, so I was like, yes. So this Bonhoeffer, this is a biography basically, or like a biography historical book. So Bonhoeffer is, I believe he was a chaplain during Hitler's era, and I want to say he originally was like serving under Hitler, but then he realized what Hitler was doing and kind of created his own following to go against Hitler and even tried to have him assassinated. I'm pretty positive. Please correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I've heard. So yeah, I've always been interested in reading about him because he was pretty much hailed as a hero during that time. And I think anyone who's hailed as a hero during that time is worth a read because it was a very devastating time. But yeah, so yes. Another book that I got at Book Outlet, and I was so excited because I saw Reagan from Peruse Project haul this book from Book Outlet, and I jumped right onto the website and ordered it because it's something that I've had on my radar for a while and I've been hearing a lot about. The premise sounds super creepy and super interesting, and I think it's going to be something that's going to make you think a lot. And so as soon as I saw Reagan haul it and it was cheap, I went ahead and grabbed it too, and that is You by Carolyn Kepnes. This has been getting a lot of buzz on BookTube lately, and ever since I first heard about it, I was immediately intrigued because this is a book about a man who works in a bookstore, I believe, and he ends up meeting a woman who comes into the store. She hands over her credit card for payment. He gets her information from her credit card and ends up stalking her because he like wants to date her. So he stalks her, he gets her information that way, and then he stalks her on social media so he knows where she is at all times. And it's kind of like, it's from his perspective, so you're seeing him stalk this woman. I've heard it's very creepy. I've heard the way that it is written makes you feel like he's stalking you, and I think that's going to creep me out, and I'm really in the mood for that right now for some reason. So I'm hoping to get to this one very soon. But yes, I've really heard nothing but good things. The only negative I've heard, a couple people have said, there's some erotic content in here. Erotica doesn't bother me at all. I have no problem reading that kind of stuff. So I don't think that's going to be a negative for me. But yes, I am very, very excited to read this. Also picked up this is a compilation book. So I bought the Lux Consequences compilation. This includes Opal and Origin, which is books 3 and 4 of the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I had the first compilation on my shelf already, and then I saw this one on there too, and I was like, well, I might as well just go ahead and get it. So this looks very long, but it's 2 books in one. So yes, I have the first 4 books in this series now. I hope I like it. I haven't started it yet, but yep. So super cheap, and I went ahead and picked it up. Okay, time for the box. $5 off, yay! Okay, so going off of the Lux books that I just bought, I also found the 5th and final book. I believe it's the final book. It's the final book as of now in the Lux series, and it is called Opposition. So, and this also includes a prequel novella called Shadows. So, yeah, that's in here too. So this is the final book and a novella as well. So now I have the entire Lux series. I don't believe there's going to be any more from this series. From what I've heard, it's wrapped up already. So I have all of them. So, yeah, I should probably read these. But yeah, got this for super cheap as well. Okay, this next book is something I've never heard of. I've never heard of the author. It was just something that I kind of saw, and the cover kind of appealed to me a little bit, and then I read the synopsis and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds terrifying. I'm gonna buy it. And that is called Helpless, and this is by Barbara Gowdy. And this book is about a mother who has a daughter, a young daughter, and their city goes into a blackout, and her daughter is taken from her home during that blackout. So this is kind of that whole event unfolding and then trying to figure out who took her daughter. She ends up getting a phone call from a woman who sounds very familiar, but she can't place her, and she's probably the one who has her daughter. So yeah, ever since becoming a mother myself, books like this impact me very differently, because I've read books, like I read The Lovely Bones. That's one of my favorite books of all time, but I read that before I had kids, and it really broke my heart. And then I read it a second time after having my first daughter, and it was just a completely new experience because I was able to put myself into those parents' positions, because having a daughter myself just, you know, it makes it a whole lot different. So I think that this one is going to really affect me that way. Yeah, so I bought it. The next book that I got, I've actually seen quite a bit on BookTube as well, and that is called Killer Instinct. This is by S.E. Green, and this has been described as Dexter as a teenage girl. And you had me at Dexter, because I love Dexter so much. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. I love the books too. I still need to read the last one, but I love the book series as well. So that's what really got me to go, ooh, I want to read that. So this is a girl who's in high school, and she studies serial killers, and then she kind of finds herself in a situation where she is actually hunting one actively, and the serial killer may be hunting her as well. So I think this sounds really interesting. I hope it's really good. I haven't heard, like, I've heard people talk about it, but I haven't heard a lot of feedback because people are kind of hauling it and then not reading it right away. So I'm going into this a little bit, you know, not knowing what other people think of it quite yet. So yeah, but I'm excited to read this. Okay, so this next book is something I've never heard of, but when I read the synopsis of it, it really intrigued me and made me buy it. So this book is called The Watch, and this is by Joydeep Roy Bhattacharya. I'm gonna write that down here because I do not know how to pronounce that last name. Joydeep Roy, I can say that. So this book is set in a wartime situation in Kandahar, and there is I believe an American troop that's kind of camped somewhere, and a woman who is from Kandahar and had lost her brother in the war comes into this camp, stands in the middle of it, and demands the return of her brother's body, and she's refusing to move until it's returned to her. So I'm guessing he was probably killed by an American or something like that. And so I'm expecting this to be very tense, because the troops are kind of forced to, you know, look at her and go, she's not moving. What do we do? Do we take her out? Is that going to get backlash? What's going to happen? Is she a spy? Does she really want this? Does she have another agenda? So yeah, just completely, I don't know. The synopsis just really made me go, holy crap, I really want to read that. So yep, I bought this one. The next book that I got, I've seen on BookTube a little bit. I haven't heard a lot of reviews about it quite yet, but I've seen it a few times, and that is called Charm and Strange, and this is by Stephanie Kuhn. This is supposed to be really weird. It's supposed to be kind of like a psychological thriller type thing where there's two different perspectives from the same person, so maybe like a multiple personality type thing. And so I think that I think this person is trying to make a big decision in his life, and just you're not sure which way it's gonna go. But yeah, I've heard a few good things about it. No full reviews quite yet, but yeah, and it won the William C. Morris YA Debut Award in 2014. So it's an award winner for sure. But yeah. I also got 2 sets of trilogies that were very cheap, and one of them I'd heard of, and I knew eventually I would want to read them. The other one I had never heard of before, but they sounded fun, so I went ahead and grabbed them. So the first one I'm going to talk about is called the Capital Girls Trilogy, and this is by Ella Monroe. So there's 3 books. The first one is Capital Girls, the second one is Secrets and Lies, and the third one is Truth or Dare. So these were all very cheap, and this is following a set of friends who live in Washington, D.C., and just kind of drama and stuff like that. I really like the covers. I think the covers are really cute, and it just sounds like it's going to be a fun, quick, you know, gossipy type read, so maybe like a fun little summer thing to do. But yeah, so I went ahead and grabbed these. The second trilogy that I picked up is the Fame Game trilogy by Lauren Conrad. I got all 3 books. The first one is called The Fame Game. The second is called Starstruck, and the third is called Infamous. So I have Lauren Conrad's LA Candy trilogy as well, and I have not started to read that yet, but I love Lauren Conrad. I think she's very classy. I might think that because I did not watch her reality show when it was on. I'm not big into those kind of reality shows, but seeing her come from that to how she is now, and what a great example she is, I think it's great. So I'm happy that she started writing books. So I bought this one. I believe that this one follows a girl who's on a reality show and all that fun stuff. So yeah, Miss Conrad knows what she's talking about for sure. So I bought all 3 books here. Again, this will be a nice, like light, fun read. And I was very happy that they had all 3 in paperback on there, so I went ahead and grabbed all of them. And honestly, guys, like I think the second one, I think this was 74 cents. Come on. And last but not least, this is my last one. I picked up a book that is one of my mom's favorite books of all time. And she was totally correct with To Kill a Mockingbird. So I'm listening to my mother. And I asked her one day what some of her favorite books were, and she told me. And she said, like Gone with the Wind and To Kill a Mockingbird, and then this one as well. This one is Lonesome Dove, and this is by Larry McCurdy. This is like a special 25th anniversary edition or something like that. It's big. It's a chunker. Honestly, big books don't bother me. As long as they're good and they're going to keep me captivated, and I'm going to, want to keep picking them up, I have no problem doing that. So this, it's very big and the font is not huge, but I'm gonna read it. I'm excited to read it. And this I actually got for about $4 because it was part of the scratch and dent, because if you can see right here, it's a little bit warped just on this corner right here. That doesn't bother me none. I was worried that it was like the cover was gonna be ripped or something, because when you do scratch and dent from Book Outlet, you don't know what condition it's gonna be in. It just means that there's some sort of damage on it, enough to where they discount it. So that does not bother me at all. And yeah, I'm excited to read this. I did watch this miniseries. This was a miniseries a long time ago on TV, and I remember that Rick Schroeder was in it, and I loved him. I had like this big infatuation with Rick Schroeder back in the day. So I've seen that, but it's been a long time. I could not tell you what even the premise of it was anymore. So I'm going to be going into this not, remembering the full story of anything. So that's exciting. But yep, I went ahead and bought Lonesome Dove. All right, guys, that's it for me. That is 21 books that I bought in August. Thanks, Book Outlet. Thanks a lot. Anyway, I'm officially on a book buying ban for quite a bit, because I have recently actually cataloged all my books on an Excel spreadsheet, and I put books I have read in a column and books I have not read in a column. And I can tell you that I have, these are books that I own, and not just, I read them and took them back to the library. These are books that I own, that I have read, or that I haven't read. I have about, I think 500, I have 549 books in my possession. They're either on my bookshelf or on my Kindle. Most of them are on my Kindle, I'll be completely honest with you. Most of them are. But I have 549 books, and I have read 32 of them. So that means I have 517 books that I own that I have not read. Yeah, so that puts crap into perspective for sure, to the point where I should not be buying books, because I honestly don't need them. So yeah, I'm going to start getting really picky about what I do purchase, because if I'm going to purchase something, it needs to be something that I 100% know. Like the Throne of Glass series, I'm going to buy all those. I want the entire set on my bookshelf. I'm also asking my husband, I'm begging my husband for the Mortal Instruments series, the UK edition covers. How pretty are those, guys? I'm asking for those for my birthday. And those I've only read the first one. I haven't read the rest of them. And I actually do want to reread the first one and then like kind of marathon that whole series, because it is something that I want to read. I remember reading it about 3 years ago, and I did really, really enjoy it, and knew I wanted to continue on the series, and I just haven't picked it up yet. So I'm asking for those for my birthday, and other than that, I'm just going to ask like for Christmas, just have a wish list, and that's it. But it has to be something that I 100% know that I want to have it on my bookshelves, because holy crap, 549 books is a lot of books. Granted, most of them are on, my Kindle. I think only about 100 and maybe about 138 or so are actually on my bookshelves in physical form. So it's not quite as bad that way. I'm going to go. I need to stop talking about this before I start hyperventilating about how many books I have. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you have any questions at all, please let me know, and I'll be happy to try to answer them as best I can. And I will see you guys again soon. Bye.